Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on the old show today. Interesting situation with that brand new all-aluminum Ford F-150 that's going to be coming to the U.S. market very soon. One of the interesting things, though, is Ford is dumping a bunch of money in a plant in Ohio to develop a brand new V6 turbocharged engine for this particular vehicle. Now, the regular V6 that they've been running now is 3.5 liters in displacement. This brand new one is only 2.7 liters in displacement. This twin turbocharged V6 is supposedly going to be making some monster fuel economy. Looks like Ford's really going to try to go over the moon with this all-aluminum lightweight vehicle, being able to get as much fuel economy squeezed out as they possibly can to maybe become a leader in the pack when it comes to fuel efficiency. Next up on the list, an interesting little situation. There's a website called Autoline.tv, and they do a little show every Thursday night that's live called Autoline After Hours. And this past week, they had Ralph Gilles, probably one of the most poorly put together pieces as far as Ralph's situation, right after the situation of the whole SRT killing off the Viper for a while and not going to Le Mans and everything. But a fantastic little interview situation. And Mr. Ralph Gilles is in this picture. Actually was very forthright on why they did the things that they've done and looking into some of the future product, even though he didn't really talk a whole lot about it. But some of the things that they talked about in this particular deal, well, number one was, well, that new situation with the new Hellcat logo, which Ralph didn't do himself any favors as he's already changed his Twitter profile picture to this new Hellcat logo a couple of weeks ago, which didn't help the rumors. Now, it's not supposed to be called the Hellcat because supposedly it's going to be, that's infringement deal over somebody else, but there's still a situation where it may still be, and you got to wait till the New York Auto Show to really come out for sure. He wouldn't come out and say it official or official not, so that's his thing moving forward. Some other interesting things, the long-rumored SRT Dart. Now, the little Dart was supposed to get the SRT treatment supposedly years ago, but apparently what SRT is looking at doing is there was a brand new lineup of new turbocharged, low-displacement engines, much like it's been going on and been all the rage in a lot of manufacturers around the world. And supposedly they're waiting for some of these engines to actually be developed and to get online, and then they may be picking one of those particular vehicles or one of those particular lineup of new engines to make a new SRT version. Ralph actually came out and said that he put it out to his Twitter followers on what they thought that this new vehicle should be all about. And they were talking about one at least 300 horsepower and all-wheel drive, which looks like it would be much the Mitsubishi Evolution or Subaru WRX STI Fighter, which very entertaining listening to me as far as I'm concerned. So be interesting to see what comes down the pike, but nothing official actually coming out of this particular interview, but it is pretty entertaining. And then the last thing, talking about the old Viper situation, he actually said that they learned a lot because this will be the first official springtime launch for the brand new SRT Viper. The Viper actually didn't come out until the summertime, so they didn't get that big push, everybody waiting through this extreme cold weather and waiting for those to buy these automobiles in the spring push, especially because you've been waiting all winter on a car that you can't drive all the time, even though there are a lot of folks that can drive these all year round depending on where you live on this planet, but there's a lot of us folks that you just can't. And that big push in the springtime, they didn't get an official one last year, which is why he says some of the sales were down. They never really intended on selling 2,000 units of the vehicle, but they actually tooled it up to actually do that as well. This particular model, which is the TA version, which is the more track-focused version, he said is selling like gangbusters. And what they're really talking about, and this could be a lot of, tech speak as far as when it comes to a manufacturer is concerned, but he claims that what ended up happening was a lot of dealers went up and swallowed up a bunch of these Vipers, and he said a lot of the Viper faithful, because there's so many choices in the new Viper when it comes to colors and materials and options and things like this that you've never had before in a Viper, that most people, when they want to buy one of these things, they want to customize it for themselves and don't want to buy one off the dealership floor. So he said actually scaling back production, or actually going on hiatus, if you will, from production for several months, is just a deal. They're trying to clean out the inventory that is coming out that's actually already in dealer showrooms and let that dwindle down before they start plugging in a whole bunch more through some sold orders. And they say they got a bunch of sold orders for a lot of stuff coming out very soon, including a brand new green color that's coming out. If you want to check out this entire interview, and it's just a touch over an hour in length, I will put the link down in the show notes. Last up on the list after that 270 mile an hour blast from the folks down at Hennessy and the brand new Venom GT, well, they went out and built themselves a special edition model in the red, white, and blue colors. There are only 3 of these models. Now, let's get back to that 270 mile an hour blast. Obviously, this car is quite high horsepower. The 7-liter twin turbocharged V8 makes 1,244 brake horsepower. 0 to 60 numbers coming at 2.7 seconds. And they did this little run, at least of 270.49 miles an hour at the Kennedy Space Center down in Florida. I know on one of the last shows I said it was in Texas. One of the eagle-eye viewers actually called me out on that, rightfully so. Now, apparently at the Kennedy Space Center, they will only allow stuff to go one direction, so they couldn't do a 2-direction deal. But the Hennessy Venom GT does have a Guinness Book of World Records record. It has the quickest time from 0 to 186 miles an hour, and that's at 13.63 seconds, which is smoking fast. But obviously that wouldn't be near as entertaining to call the car that, except for this car will be called the fastest sports car, supercar in the world, I think is what they're going to end up calling it. I'm not going to tell you what they're going to charge for this because all 3 models have already been sold. So it really doesn't make any difference when it comes to this car. But I think this would at least get them over the hump to actually making enough number of vehicles to make a production run where they could actually come back and back up that record for an official record. Granted, there's going to be a couple other manufacturers. They're going to be hot on their heels about trying to beat that one coming soon. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. If you want to jump on over to the Facebook page, the link's down in the show notes. You can like us over there and check out what we do over there every day. Also, if you want to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time. You get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.